Hi everyone and welcome to Film Dirt. Here's my review for Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, I remember seeing this very early on when it was released. I think I went within the first couple of days because I'm a Star Wars fan. And I remember the hype for this movie was incredible. I think it was 25, 30 years since a Star Wars film was come out, so I might be wrong in that time frame, but yeah, I remember the buzz was incredible. Everyone went crazy over the development of this movie, and I remember when I came out of it, I wasn't that enthused by it. I wasn't disappointed, and I wasn't ecstatic by what I saw. I was slightly confused, and I needed to process it over a couple of days first. And I liked the visual aspect of it. I thought the effects were brilliant at the time for the most part. There was a lot of eye candy that was just put in there for very little reason. I know a lot of people said that the pod race was visually spectacular, but I didn't see any point to it. I know it was to establish the skills of Anakin Skywalker at such a young age, being able to fly and being able to operate machines and fly at speed. But it just seems like a child still like a baby. If he was played more thoughtful, he was using the Force and not so juvenile, maybe that would help sell that story a bit more. I don't know. I thought Jake Lloyd did very well, and I think unfairly treated by some of the fan base. Now, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not a huge, die-hard Star Wars fan. I'm not that invested in how it changed my life or ruined my life as some people said. That's stupid, absolutely stupid of some people to say that. And I thought Jake did very well, considering he was so young at the time. But possibly a lack of direction, maybe by George, I think, or maybe wrong decisions made. I think he should have been more thoughtful and less childlike at this stage, or maybe even cast a slightly older actor. While that took me out of the movie, the childish nature of Anakin, I think the whole film was childish in some respects. Jar Jar Binks, too childish, too stupid, and should have been a more useful, more in control alien. I think the look is fine. We can have a walking fish or a frog or whatever it is, but have it speak another language and have subtitles and have it just not a stupid bungling character. It was just, I don't know, that took me out of the movie as well. And there was other childish things as well, like in the end battle in the Naboo forest, or it wasn't a forest, was it? It was a field, just a big open field. What were those rolling orbs? I don't know what I was looking at. I still don't know, and it's never been replicated in any subsequent films that I know of. Are they energy balls? Are they physical? Are they solid? Or are they air? I don't know. Just too cartoony. That's what I was looking for. I know everything's a cartoon in that part of the film, but show us something that's could be like rolling rocks or something, or other kind of matter. Just very strange, very strange. Maybe rocks would have been more plausible, using physical objects, just like the Ewoks did in Return of the Jedi. Just have something physical, trees, branches, or if they're fish creatures, then maybe, I don't know, water cannons. Water works against, like I'm looking at a jet power washer or something, instead of those big beasts with creatures sitting on them and like horses. And let's have a machine or something that is more physically plausible than a rolling, glowing blue orb. I don't know, just so much of this movie was just childlike and too many one-liners and gags. I enjoyed the film, but I was just trying to look past the comedy and seeing the film for what it is. And it just seemed, to me, it was a bit too self-contained with a beginning, middle, and end. I think we should have had more threads planted, or maybe there were with Anakin being so childlike. And George was thinking, if we have him really childlike in this movie, then we can see the progression of him slowly turning to the dark side. Maybe it would mean more if he goes from a lovable child, unknowing of what his destiny is or what his future holds for him, suddenly becoming such an evil being. That would break your heart more. But I think we didn't really go too deep into that part of it. And that's what I wanted from this movie, establishing sorrow, establishing the tragedy of such a lovable child to end up as the baddest man in the universe. So I don't think we got as much of that as we should have. Now, because there was a lot of visual effects in the movie, I've got to say I'm so glad that the Naboo troops were human characters. I think if we got more helmeted or, like stormtrooper types, if we got them all wearing faceless helmets and have them as a faceless race, or if they were animated, or if they were just aliens, I think that would have taken me out of the movie more, and it would have been soulless movie that in some respects it was. I think because we see more humans in it, I think that grounds it a bit more, and it almost saves the second half of the movie. I love visual effects. I love video games and seeing technology advance, but I think there was just too many great special effects of spaceships flying past camera and then landing, and then aliens which looked great, but still, you could see there were visual effects. We could have had less of that and just have a more gritty movie. We could have more scenes on Tatooine. We could have let go of the childlike aspect of this story. He did do that in Attack of the Clones, the next movie. I think that was the right way to go, and there's a lot of good things about that film where we actually see a story, like a sinister story, develop, and we're not quite getting the answer to it, which is the right decision, I thought. And there was very much a case of fewer laughs and fewer jokes in that movie. I'll get to that in my next review. But I think we should have had more of I don't know, more soul-searching film with Anakin. Maybe Ben, or Obi-Wan, I should say, at this point, Obi-Wan could have foreseen something, or the Jedi Council could see that there was something wrong there earlier, and but not being able to put their finger on it, rather than just guessing whether he's ready or not ready, and you should train him. I think we should have planted the seeds earlier, and maybe cast a slightly older actor. Maybe that's how I saw it. So I thought, like I said, Jake Lloyd, very good in the role, considering he did the maximum he was allowed to do. I think I've got to say as well, the Yoda puppet, awful. They should have gone with a much better puppet. I think they were in two minds of how young to make the puppet. It doesn't even look like Yoda. It just looks like another creature, another person from that race. So I'm glad they eventually replaced him with a CG character in the 4K remaster, and it does look better, but I still think they should have gone with a puppet. Now, I think this is the worst of the prequel films. I think each prequel movie was slightly better than the last. I know a lot of people say Attack of the Clones is the worst one. I don't agree with that. There's a lot of good in that movie where you've got a slightly sinister Adolf Hitler type political thing being established, and I'll cover that when I get to it. But I didn't mind the politics being discussed. I saw no problem with it. We weren't looking at it too deep. I think we were just given enough. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but like I say, if we got a stronger Anakin story, that would have taken our attention away from the politics, and we would have been aware that the politics were there. But because the Anakin stuff wasn't that strong, we're too invested in other parts of the movie, like the politics, which I think should have taken back seat. I think this was a fairly good movie. I've just got problems with its childlike feel to it. It just seemed like a comedy, one you take to the kids, and I think we could have started a bit more seriously, in my opinion. I'd give this, because I do like it, I think it's 3 stars. And now, just a little bit about me to finish off. As I said before, I'm in no way connected to any of the studios. No free tickets, no incentives, no endorsements at all. All my opinions are my own and unbiased, and I like to speak quite frankly. And that was my review of episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And I'll be doing the other Star Wars movies as well. I'll be revisiting those. So stay tuned on Film Dirt. Speak to you again. Take care.